Hi everyone, my name is Chelsea and I thought I would be making a video about the character development of my character Kain. Kain was a character I created at the time of this video is 2025. I created him roughly around 2012. I had just gotten out of high school. He was kind of a character that I was heavily inspired. He was a little bit of a Tim Burton inspired creature, but I definitely wanted to make my own spin on him. Of course, being a reckless teenager, I definitely didn't consider a lot of character details. One of the things that is obviously a big deal about him is that he's got a floating head. Over the years, I would try to figure out what he is. I am making a comic about him, does further explain what he is. The further creatures I do wish to make as I go to also explain what he is. But for this video, we're going to be talking about his character development and how he's really changed in this video. Over the years, this character became such a comfort to me. I always thought he was very unique because he's the kind of character that if you got like a first glance at him, it could be kind of misunderstood because he kind of looks a little creepy on the scarier side. But he's the kind of character that I always wanted where he has the most amazing personality because he's the kind of character that always cheered me up. So he has the optimistic ideal to cheer other people up. He also has this really good ability of auras. Not too long after that, I decided that even though he's basically a colorless character, that his character should, or his color should be green, can have the ability to affect people's auras to help them feel better. And over the years, he stayed pretty consistent, but over time, it kind of became more and more decrement of his flaws. I'm not going to have it on here on this video, but a couple of the flaws were in the beginning he wasn't very fluffy, so I started making him fluffy. I did get a few people later on critiquing me saying he has too many details in his design. Later on I realized I needed to kind of figure out a couple of kinks about him and what I could do to make him more simple. So I started making his tails more simple. I started putting less designs on his body. And it was a gradual process, and I think it was well worth it. And then for actually a couple of years there, I actually stopped drawing him for a bit. For a bit before that, I actually got people commissioned to draw him as well. And unfortunately, I don't remember most of these artists anymore. I just commissioned them whenever I went to certain conventions in my area. A lot of artists always brought such a uniqueness to him, but recently I decided to start getting back into his character and wanting to create his story, so I've really been trying to spruce it up again and planning to create a comic over his character, what he is, and to make more of his kind. In recent videos, I decided that he needs to have a different color change because another problem is that through the years I have had some other influential people kind of alter his look without fully getting my consent over it, and I was always okay with it because they were dear to me at the time. But I don't know people like that anymore, so I decided to take him back into my own. Originally he was black and gray, so I switched it, which I feel like is a big design difference because he just doesn't look so meshed in some places. And then of course I still lessened his design by still keeping a lot of his original traits, and just trying to figure out his anatomy has been really nice as well. In some ways he's still a work in progress, but I think he's definitely gained more character, more personality to figuring out what his details are. I plan on making some comics about him. If you like this character, if you think he's pretty interesting, then you will be seeing him a lot on my channel. Consider liking and subscribing. Let me know what you think about my character. Thanks for watching.